This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Forget the frustration of picking commerce platforms when you switch your business to Shopify, the global commerce platform that supercharges your selling wherever you sell. With Shopify, you'll harness the same intuitive features, trusted apps, and powerful analytics used by the world's leading brands. Sign up today for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/tech, all lowercase. That's shopify.com/tech.
Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of Everything Kratom, the podcast about anything and everything Kratom. Great to have you with us on this Wednesday evening, hoping all is well with you out there today. Looks like we're getting quite a rainstorm out there. Wow, I didn't even notice. Alright, so today, just wanted to point out something that I found on Reddit. Looks like it was a post from 3 days ago. And this is on the subreddit page Kratom, spelled with 2 M's at the end. Still not sure why. Johns Hopkins lab-based research study on Kratom. The Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine is currently seeking volunteers for a lab-based research study that will take place on our Baltimore, Maryland campus. So basically the study is open to anybody who's 18 years of age or older and uses Kratom on a regular basis, and those who are willing to provide samples of the Kratom that they're taking and the Kratom that they typically use. It's pretty open. So there's a link in the Reddit post, and I'll share the Reddit post link in the description of this podcast episode. And if you're interested in seeing if you're eligible for it and want to do the questionnaire, there's a link within that post. So, I don't know. I guess my whole reasoning for bringing this study up, which, by the way, the main purpose of which is to see, to assess the effects here. I'll just quote it. The study is assessing the effects from the Kratom products that people use and any effects that may develop when Kratom use is discontinued. All right, there we go. It also says, we are also assessing how Kratom products are metabolized by the body. Okay, so there's a few different parts going on here. I'm not quite clear on where the stopping Kratom use comes into play. Like, are they going to ask participants to stop midway through? Is it going to be like double-blind placebo where they keep giving people Kratom and other people not? I don't know. But I guess the reason why I wanted to share this one today was because I'm just commenting on the fact that I'm seeing more studies like this coming out. Up until this past year, let's say that. Up until this past year, I've really just seen mostly sorts of findings and studies and links and whatever, other than post-toxicology reports and looking at people who had Kratom in their system when they died, kind of like doing a retrospect. Most of the things that I've seen have had to do with, like, based on users' self-reports on, the FDA comment period for this law going into effect in this state or the national one, or based on the users' experiences that are self-reported on Reddit, yada, yada, yada. And that's all good and helpful information to have, but it's all based on self-reports. And it's just such a limited scope, I think, in a lot of ways. And I guess that's obvious, but, like, it really is. I mean, sitting here and talking about Kratom, I wonder how much I actually know when it comes to, like, what people are taking it for, but more, I wouldn't say more importantly, more relevant to this episode. Good save. More relevant to this episode would be, I wonder how much I actually know about what people's experiences are, like the effects that they experience that maybe they're not reporting on, or they're not the sort of person who do self-report on Reddit, so I'm not seeing what they feel. But, like, the sorts of effects that might fly under the radar, but might be something that you can pick up if you know that you're kind of being monitored, you're in a lab setting, so it feels more official, so you want to be more aware of your body. How much of this has to do with just being aware versus, in retrospect, sitting down on Reddit and just kind of, like, telling people what's happening today? How much are we missing just by going off that? I don't know. But I'm not quite sure I have a good grasp on what exactly the effects are that people experience who are Kratom users that use Kratom regularly and what the effects are when they discontinue kratom use. Like, it's all from, more or less in my brain, it's all coming from the same source, which is self-reports on Reddit. And it's a limited scope. So I'm excited to see that there's more of these studies, these real studies, like with people in front of them, flying out to Maryland. I mean, like, these are studies where you got the people in front of you. You can watch them. They can realize something about it themselves. I think that that's kind of getting to the crux of it. I'm wondering how many of the people who put self-reports online, and I've certainly done that myself. So, I'm not pointing anyone out in a negative way. I wonder how many people who have put their self-reported experiences online might have written down their experiences differently had they been monitored, had they been in a formal lab setting. How much of that has to do with, like, just being under the microscope? I don't know. But, like, having the actual monitor there and noticing things that maybe you wouldn't have noticed otherwise. Maybe the withdrawal actually was there and you just didn't realize it. You felt, I didn't feel anything. Well, are you sure? Maybe you did. Maybe you did have something going on there, but you weren't really looking for it. Of course, I know withdraw, you're not looking for it. It finds you in a lot of ways, but there are also subtle ways that things can happen, and I don't sweep those under the rug. And then, of course, with the positive as well, like maybe a lot of people I see say they didn't experience anything their first time, and then once they're regular users, you know, they say that they've had a lot of trouble, like keeping their dosage at the same amount, or they say I've been consistent at this amount for years and it works the same as it did on day one, you know, which is kind of close to where I fall. But regardless, maybe that's not true. Maybe even within just a few days, you might notice a difference in how kratom's affecting you if you just got some people writing it down for you, you know, and monitoring you and kind of making it a little bit more of a controlled experiment. So I think that it's a nice change up to have more of these studies coming out. There's not like a million of them, but I am noticing more each and every day. And I think that it's good for everybody, regardless of what they think about kratom, because at the end of the day, I do believe everybody out there when they're like doing their self-reported experiences, but sometimes I get by with a little help from my friends. Sometimes you just got to have someone else there, and hey, why not have it be a doctor in a lab coat at Johns Hopkins University? Okay, well, I'll end it there. So, what else can I say? Hope you're all doing well. We'll be back tomorrow, and we'll keep up these check-ins. All right, everybody, take care. Thanks so much for listening. Talk to you then. Bye-bye.